Would you guys gaggle with reporters for a few moments?
Thank you.
You are both the top immigration advisors to President Trump, in addition to Stephen Miller. He just announced that he's signing an executive order to put 30,000 detention beds at Guantanamo Bay. I know, Mr. Homeland, you've talked about needing more beds, but how exactly would that work, and when do you expect it to open?
You know, that is something that the White House is working on, to use resources that we currently have there at Guantanamo Bay. So we'll go through the process. The worst of the worst is where that could be utilized. So that potential is there. We know we need the infrastructure. We're going after these guys.
But who would run that? DHS or the Pentagon?
What you probably don't know, there's already a migrant center there. It's been there for decades. So we're just going to expand upon the existing migrant center.
How would logistics work for that? How would you get migrants down to Guantanamo?
We fly them to Guantanamo. Coast Guard, they encounter people in maritime, they can take them straight to Guantanamo Bay. The worst of the worst, the significant public safety threats, we can fly them.
We're doing it. We're already doing it.
Would that be more expensive?
We're building it out and using more resources.
What is the worst?
Mr. Homeland, Secretary Nunn, what kind of civilian oversight would there be?
Civilian oversight?
Yeah.
The current civilian oversight that we have in our federal government today. We had an election in November that clearly said the American people don't want these criminals and dangerous individuals on our streets anymore. We're taking care of it at the
What's your message for Polish Americans who voted for President Trump and may have neighbors or family members who are undocumented, who are illegally here?
Listen, the law applies to everybody. It applies to American citizens. It applies to people who come into this country illegally. You will be held accountable for breaking our laws.
Will you focus on people who
Your question earlier.
Relations at all?
ICE.
Go ahead, Mr.
ICE has the highest detention standards in the industry. You can't find another state, federal, local facility has higher detention standards than ICE. So every facility, including Gitmo, will have the highest.
So ICE would be running it.
That's
actually really helpful. So ICE would be running and would be
That's our
staffing
migrant
that.
center run out of Miami.
Mr. Homeland,
I hope you all are spending your time today covering Laken Riley and her family and this bill and the tools that it's going to give to make sure that families don't have to go through that again.
Well, on his
we're covering that. One question that we'd like to ask is if you have a sense of how much money it will cost, how much money will be invested in this facility?
Bill or the facility?
In the facility at Guantanamo Bay that the
We're working
president
on that
announced.
with reconciliation and appropriators in the House.
Are you finishing
And then the actions we've taken on those contain